Morning, beautiful people. What y'all up to? Happy Saturday to you. Yeah, I'm in the gym. You expect me to be, or you expect me to get the results I'm kind of chasing? Uh, Here we are again. Another edition of My Two Cents and my conflicting thoughts, ideas, provocation, and the intent that we all just get better. We support each other along life's journey and add your 2 cents where needed. Definitely added value. Uh, the thoughts that I'm wrestling with this morning is long suffering. How do you view long suffering? I heard long suffering being mentioned as a gift. And my initial thoughts of it was like, long suffering, how can that be a gift? That sounds like just something that you will tell people, to give them that false hope, if you will. When I started to dig a little deeper into it, I can definitely see how long suffering can be considered a gift when you look at some of the people, pioneers that have had the gift of long suffering throughout their life, and you know they turn out to be pretty influential. When you look at individuals like say Nelson Mandela, if anybody had the gift of long suffering, he would definitely be one of those, given the fact that what he has endured through his life, uh, and then still manage to hold his head high, take it all with grace, and come out and still be influential and not hold any degree of malice or hate to kind of hinder him, if you will. We could look at the MLKs of the world, uh, the Harriet Tubman of the world, and many other people who had to endure and still made these valuable contributions. When you're looking at yourself, you have to measure uh, your level of long suffering, your level of resilience, your level of stick to itiveness. And in that process, and we've spoken about this before, is to understand, say, the seasons in your life. So while you're going through those moments where you don't necessarily see the fruits of your labor, those could be your time of, as they say, uh, planting that seed or toiling the land, if you will, or your time of long suffering until that season has changed for you to actually reap. That could be your time of actually learning to receive the gifts that you're about to receive. Because again, we are always tested. I'm not going to give you $1 million if you can't manage 20. So that can be that period. We have all of these analogies, some I've spoken about before, say the Chinese bamboo plant, if you will, that actually takes a good 5 years below the ground before you even see a sprout. And within 9 months from that sprout, that can grow upwards to 55 to 60 feet easy. So the long suffering and toiling is that 5 years that you're not seeing anything, and that reaping season is the 9 months above ground where it comes bountiful and plentiful. Excuse me. But you definitely have to be prepared for that reaping season. You definitely have to suffer, because the way you suffer and the way you carry a load can be an example, for others to follow. It can be someone's little hope when they see you. It's like, hey, this person is going through X, Y, Z, and they're still going through it with grace. They still manage to be thankful. They still manage to be helpful. Uh, Sometimes people say greater gifts are received when you have nothing versus when you have plentiful. If you have nothing and you gave me half or nothing, it is well received. Not to say it's not appreciated when rich folks give stuff, but it's easier for them to give. It's easier for someone to give that has plentiful than it is a person that has nothing still to be giving. Also, the gift of long suffering or long suffering. Uh, my take, it can definitely be seen as a gift, viewed as a gift, received as a gift. Some people definitely have the ability to uh, take more stuff than others. All right, in the West Indian language, take more than others, and in that same context as well, you when you're advising somebody, you're attempting to help somebody through a situation, and be like, hey, I'm talking to this person for the last 4 or 5 years about the same thing, and they're not making any change. So their ability to endure that situation, their ability to thrive in those conditions may be a lot longer, say, than you would have in that situation. Where that person may have that gift of long suffering, although you might consider it to be like, hey, they're probably being foolish. But some people thrive in certain situations. Some people have to go through certain situations for them to come out better on that end. That is their season, that is their process, that is their time of long suffering to receive on the other end. Things to consider. Those are my 2 cents. What is yours?